We're to our top 5s.
Magnet.
Yeah. We're to our top 5 list. I'm going to switch over to the main screen. And because we're fancy, you're going to do this.
Who's first?
Ooh.
Derek, do you want to go first?
Sure.
All right. So here's Derek's top 5, and then we're going to talk about them.
These are in no particular order, but Steven assigned them numbers.
I said...
No, you said that the order was fine.
I said it was
the
fine
order.
because I don't stipulate orders. I don't do top 5 lists. It's not fair to myself or anyone else. So here is a list of games that are 5, and I liked them when we saw them. None of them we brought home. So I'm gonna be the first one to talk about these games.
Well, we can all talk about them, but you can lead the conversation.
Mission Control is a game from 3WS that we got a first peek at Unplugged at the end of last year, and Michael, who is our contact now at 3WS, told us that their booth was going to be decked out. They were going to be in spacesuits. They were going to have a little area to play the game in that was like a rocket ship, and they fucking delivered. Mission Control, believe it or not, is a cooperative game, and this cooperative game has someone on a space station whose oxygen supply is depleting. And the object of the game is to save that space ethernaut by being... So you have the Ethernaut who is doing shit. Steven was our Ethernaut when we demoed the game, so I'm not 100% sure what he was doing. But then there are also stations on Earth, Houston, Bengaluru in India, and Cologne in Russia, who are all doing different activities to try and save the Ethernaut. Megan was Bengaluru. She was doing Sudoku.
I was doing a Sudoku type thing. So I was taking the numbers that Steven rolled and that we chose and putting them into a Sudoku board where if I filled out a row or a column, I got to fill in a little circle. If I filled in 4 circles, I got to tell you to take something blindly out of a bag. And then if I filled in the next one down, which had, I believe it was 4 by 4, and then a 5 by 5, numbers up to 6. If I did the 5 by 5 row or column, you got to choose something out of that bag.
And I was playing Houston. Basically what I was doing, I was taking numbers and I had to match numbers into different shapes, like Tetris almost. So like say the numbers are 4, I had to put 4 4s together to make an L or a J or a Z or an S. And when I completed one of those, Steven would get to basically play that plumbing game where you have to put your pieces down and guide the water through a thing, but instead of water it was oxygen. And then Cologne was basically taking all of the numbers that we were deciding and adding them up to a full total and filling in bars to help Steven do something. We played with a rando who was very good at math and was very chill and was very excited when we won. And then as soon as we took a picture of how happy we were that we won, went back to like this like demure little guy, and I was like, what a pro.
They also gave you little lanyards that have your picture on them, and on the back, if you completed, you got stickers and got upgraded to...
Which we did.
We are lieutenants now.
Yeah, we are lieutenants now.
So, Mission Control is going to be coming out by the end of the year. So we're hoping to have it soon-ish to show you all. But like honestly, for a cooperative game, no one can tell me what to do. No one could make me do anything. I was doing everything on my own, and I was completely content with it. So this game was one of the best demos that we did. Not only because it was very interactive and like super cool to be in the actual space station.
You said Michael's name one too many times.
Oh my gosh! Hello.
But yeah, Mission Control was one of the best demos that we did, and one of the games that I'm looking forward to most. And honestly, if we were to assign numbers to whatever lists, it would be at the top. It just happens to also be at the top of this list.
Definitely survived with nearly 5 minutes to go because it is a timed, real-time game. You have 20 minutes to finish this.
We actually had 4 minutes and 27 seconds left.
Yeah. And then, so that was honestly one of the best demos that we got. The next one is Fit to Print. This game, very cute. Also, I think it's coming out at the end of the year. I don't remember.
Hey, give me my
I do have a lanyard to prove it. It's right here,
Hang on.
I don't know what you're...
including my upgraded
2 seconds.
badge, or my pin showing that I survived.
Yeah.
I made notes because I am a person who, as soon as we start talking about stuff like this, every sort of detail about the game goes whoosh out of my head.
Mission Control was right across
It was
from...
in the second row. It was in the 200s. It was in the second row.
It was right
Next
across
to
from Lucky
Elderwood
Duck.
Academy.
And right next to Elderwood, which is why
Elderwood
I
and
got...
Lucky Duck,
Yeah.
But Fit to Print is my next game. Basically, you are little critters who are putting together the front page of a newspaper. It's got the mechanics.
It's coming to some sort of crowdfunding at the end of this year.
Excellent.
Fall of this year.
It's got mechanics very similar to the beginning stage of Galaxy Trucker, where there's just a pile of tiles, and you have to gather as many tiles onto your little. You got a 3D cardboard desk that you have to pile your tiles on top to if you want to keep them, and then eventually you just decide I'm done, and you start putting together your front page. You have your headline article, which tells you what your scoring goals are. You have happy events articles. You have sad articles. You have to try and balance those numbers. There are advertisements that you have to get if you have the most or the least or something like that. There's negative points. But like even in between that, you also have to have photographs, but the photographs can't be next to each other. The ads can't be next to each other. You have to balance everything on the front page, while also it's a gridded front page, so you have to grab the exact amount of tiles. Simply because if you have too many tiles and there's still shit left on your desk when you're done, it's negative points. We demoed it on Sunday. It was hilarious, and I loved it.
We all overestimated the amount of space we had on our board.
Our scoring was Steven had 4 points.
No, I had the most. I actually
won.
I had like 20 some points.
You didn't have 20.
Yes.
We were all in the single digits.
No, I was not.
Okay.
I was in single digits. You
very
were in
low
double
scoring
digits.
because we all did very bad, but I think all three of us have this on our list. Steven, you have this on the list?
Nope.
Okay. So Megan and I have it on our list. We're very excited for this game.
It's my honorable mention, though.
But, yeah, end of the year, this is coming to crowdfunding. But very cool game. The artwork was incredible. The critters were awesome.
Just quickly, wanted to jump back to Mission Control because they put it in there that they're not doing. It's not a Kickstarter. It's just pre-order.
Right.
I was talking about Fit to Print. It's going to be
Yes.
on crowdfunding.
But if you see that, there.
But yes, open for pre-order.
And
for
you get
Mission
Stranger
Control.
for free.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Pre-order the shit out of this game because Mission Control was great. So is Fit to Print, but get ready for that at the end of the year. Next is the game from Lucky Duck that we were hinting at earlier. It is Flamecraft. Basically, you got little dragon familiars, and you are having your dragon familiars help you run businesses and go to shops and shit. Number one, cute as hell. Number two, the base components were incredible, and they also have a deluxe version for some reason. The base game components are deluxe level, and then they made deluxe components. Very cool game. This was the game that we went to the hot room and played. It was very good. Who won? Damn it.
I won all of the demos that we played this time.
Nope. I had one.
Which one? Did you win? No, maybe won Flamecraft. Because I know I won Miss Win.
Anyway,
I know, but I won one of them.
Flamecraft, very cute, very incredible. If you were at Gen Con and you missed it, how dare you?
Ariel, literally, we were walking by, and you know, in like the cartoons when they're walking and their head stops and turns, but they keep walking and then they come back. That is exactly what happened. And I don't feel like I'm super exaggerating there.
DJ Tusk!
Hey, DJ Tusk!
Thanks so much for those 50 Pride biddies, or 500 Pride biddies, sorry.
I immediately turned around and they were like, I don't remember what you all said. I said, cute dragons! And that's all I said was cute dragons.
But this game
And then we got the demo.
Yeah, but this game was genuinely incredible, and I think none of us can wait to
I'm so
actually play
excited.
this because it was so good. Like, the base game comes with a neoprene mat. It's got wooden cutouts for these dragons.
Yeah,
It
spoilers,
was
this
great.
is on all 3 of our lists.
Yeah, Flamecraft, incredible. All of mine are not yet released, but this one specifically doesn't even really have a date on it. But looking like for Essen this year, this is Starship Captains from CGE.
Flamecraft is supposed to be out by this fall, or by December.
Very cool.
So,
there you go.
Paxio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Starship Captains is the new game, the next game coming out from CGE. The reason it is on my list, it could have been anything, and it would have been on my list because Star Trek. I love this game. Doesn't have anything to do with Star Trek, but also wink, wink, nudge,
Thank
nudge.
you, Kelly.
It absolutely does. But it is a very interesting game where you have to have a crew of people on your starship, and you're going out into the galaxy. You're doing activities on different planets, and you're upgrading your people so that they can also be no longer be ensigns.
Nice.
It didn't matter what Nathan said to us about StarCraft. I'm going to be purchasing it, and it's on my list. So there you go. Star Trek, but not really. And finally, the last game on my list is Forges of Ravenshire. This is a very interesting game. It is a worker placement game. There is a badger on the cover of the game.
Which is what got us over there.
Yeah, but basically,
But there's not many badgers in the actual game.
I don't know anything
You're
about
playing
that.
as a badger. You are.
What?
So Siri just found the top 10 worker placement games on YouTube. Don't know what that's about.
Fish, thank you so much for those
100 biddies.
And
100
also,
biddies.
Kelly, thank you for the 100 biddies.
But Forges of Ravenshire is the last game on my list. It is a worker placement game where you are you're trying to be a blacksmith and have the most successful blacksmithery in the town of Ravenshire by collecting the most monies. You're gonna get steel and charcoal and fire and items, and the boards are the double-decker cardboard boards, so your pieces aren't gonna fall out of them, which is incredible. It's one of my stipulations for cardboard bats. I love that shit. But yeah, look for Forges of Ravenshire. I think it's also end of the year as well. So a lot of them coming out at the end of the year, and I just realized how much money I'm going to end up spending, and that isn't good. But Forges of Ravenshire is number 5 on my list. And then honorable mention.
I'll be talking about it too, but
Honorable mention for my list. It's not on here, but we talked about it earlier. We did the playtest room, which is one of the events there that we've done before, which was absolutely great. But we went in there, and Megan chose just simply based on the mechanics of the game. Honestly, I don't know if any game could have been better in that playtest hall. But the game is called Mistwind. There's no specific date, but keep an eye on it because this is a heavy boy. This is a thick motherfucker.
Jesus.
Basically, there is a society that exists on mountains, and there's a valley of mist.
Do you want Steven to talk about it?
No, I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
Unless it's on your actual list.
It's on his actual
Okay,
list.
well, never mind. It's my honorable mention. Steven's going to talk about it when he talks about it, but this shit, the components alone for this thing.
First fish.
If this game comes with the components that we played with,
Sold.
done.
Immediate sold.
Yeah. But Steven's going to talk about it on his top 5. I don't
Am I
know
next?
who's next.
Yep. Megan is next. Ready?
Yeah.
Megan! Hey, this is what-
Flamecraft is my number 1 pick.
Surprise!
Anything to add from what Derek kind of said about it?
It's adorable. I love it. The dragons are named based on what they're doing. So you have like little bread boys. You have little
Like,
little
first of all,
garden buddies.
the puns on some of the shop
The
names.
puns on the shop names, and then I found out later from the woman who gave us our demo earlier that there are like little like odes to other things on the cards, which I thought I was imagining, and then it turned out I wasn't. I'm trying to think of some of the. There was a potion. There's a little potion dragons. One of the dragons' name is Tannin, which I think is adorable.
Because of wine.
Mm-hmm. I really fell in love with this game. In fact, I think it was Saturday was by the point I said, I'm pretty sure that Flamecraft is going to be my number one game.
So we had a meeting with Bree on Saturday, and we had seen Flamecraft earlier on, and that's when we stopped. We stopped and played the game, even though we knew we were having a meeting with Bree. And
Critical Roles. That was the name of a bakery.
Yep, Critical Roles is the name of the bakery. It's adorable.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but we had to stop and play it.
Yeah, they were like, well, we have a meeting with Bree, and I was like, cute dragons. That's all I kept yelling. I was like, I want to see it now.
Did you see my?
Yes.
So, Michael, 3WS was right next to Lucky Duck. It was right next to Elderwood. We spent a lot of time in just those three booths.
Yeah, those three areas. And number 2, Mission Control. It was so fun. Mm-hmm. And, we got really into it, and we're like, yeah. It's like, what is it? India's locked. It was so, we got really into it.
I already have ideas of how I want to play it on stream.
Me too!
Because we have the green screens.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the guy in space.
Yes.
We need to make our own spacesuits.
I want to
because
have...
the spacesuits that the crew at 3WS had on that whole time, they bought them, but then they hand customized them with the Saga logo on it. It was incredible, and I want one so bad.
We're going to find our own spacesuits for this stream. We're very excited
Except that
about
only
it.
the person that's in space needs to be wearing a spacesuit.
I'll wear
Houston,
a spacesuit.
Spacesuit. I don't care if I'm sitting in front of a computer on Earth. I'm going to put the fucking helmet on.
They really, really, really did.
And they're also super cool guys.
Mm-hmm.
It is truly phenomenal games coming out of Gen Con. Fit to print. Derek already talked about Fit to print. We walked past it, and I was like, that's really cute art, because everybody knows the best way to get me to stop into your booth is good art. And that's exactly what happened.
Yes, indeed.
I also spent the majority of the time reading the little articles because they're all different. All the article titles are different. And somehow I ended up with the yoga section on my board. So that was fun. Okay, so for a game that has not been talked about yet, Weirdwood Manor. So Weirdwood Manor is from Grey Ridge Games. It was actually over in the indie publisher section. They didn't have, they only had one demo copy. They had a book that I think had been kickstarted previously. But we were walking through and I saw this round board and I was like, I gotta know. I have to know. So, it is a cooperative game.
When she says round board,
I mean,
this son of a bitch was
round
huge.
Board. Big boy. It is a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players. I looked all of this up so I would remember these things. But it's coming to Kickstarter in the spring of 2023. Mm-hmm. But basically, you are playing as students at Weirdwood Manor who are trying to not only defeat the Fey evil that is there, but also save the headmistress from the center of the board. Now, what makes this very interesting is not only do you have asymmetric player abilities, the board itself moves.
Yeah, this was the coolest thing.
So I talked about the circle board, but there are almost puzzle pieces that fit into 2 separate rings, and the rings spin, as well as you can flip those pieces over to either close off rooms, and by spinning the board, you open up rooms, close rooms, change the time of day, so what you do on your turn affects what other people are able to do on their turns. And it is, if you're into themes the way that I am, this is a very, very deeply themed game.
Yeah.
This is a whole universe that has been created for this game.
We got
for
to
these
talk to
books.
the designer.
The designer. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be able to get this copy when they go to Kickstarter. We did talk to them about doing some Kickstarter stuff, so fingers crossed. But it's got a little bit of everything. You've got dice drafting, you've got cards, you've got the asymmetric play, the resource management. It's so cool. The little scarab pieces that are in there are really cool too.
Yeah.
Highly suggest looking it up. There are a lot of pictures online of it, but it is very, very, very cool. Highly recommend. We talked about Garden Nation earlier.
This was one of the only ones on any of our lists that we actually purchased.
Because
got
this game actually came out in 2021. But we weren't going to conventions really in 2021, so we got it here. And I texted them and I was like, "Does it have to be a new game?" Even though I was the one that said we need to do this. I was like, "Does it have to be a new game or just one that we saw?" Clearly I really fell in love with Garden Nation. Hopefully you all will too when we start playing it. I'm trying to think if I have any honorable, because like there were a couple on your list that I was like, "Oh yeah, that was good." I'm excited for it. So, but yeah, that's my top 5 list, and I'm very excited for the things.
All right, that means my turn.
That means it's your turn.
Nope, Lynx gets a turn.
Well, I mean, she is taking over the whole table.
She sure is.
My top 5 list. A lot of these will look familiar. Number 1 was Mistwind. So Mistwind is a pickup and delivery map. There is elements of Ticket to Ride where you're trying to complete routes, but you can also pick up and deliver to get points, and then you can also buy cards, which give you points at the end, and do special abilities. There's a lot. It's one of my favorite types of games because there's a lot to do, and you can try to do multiple things, but also there is an element of where you have to be careful because somebody can take what you want to do that turn, and then you have to pick something else. So you can try to plan out your turns a lot, but there is still an element to have to think on your feet in order to do some things. As Derek started to say, it is about the whole idea or concept is that there is these cities that are like up in the sky, and you have these whale little ship things.
Sky whales.
There were space whales on clouds, folks.
Sky
the
whales.
Components for this, it was a whale that had 4 fins on each side, and he rested on an arc of clouds that you got to move around the board. And then there were little ports that stood from cliff tops. These were resin printed men. I lost this game so bad, and I didn't give a shit because the whole time I was just sitting with one of those ports in my hand, just fucking looking at it and just rolling around. It was incredible.
You can kind of see, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look up the box, you actually can see what the space whales look like, and that's what the minis look like.
Yeah.
You could actually put the cubes on the whale.
It had like a little. It was a whale, and it had like a mast and like the full ship on its back, and the little resource cubes fit right inside the ship, and they just rode around there. It was absolutely incredible. We named a tentacle monster Jeffrey. We came up with these nightmare shrimps with wings, little fucking prawns that have scary wings to guide the whales through the place. Incredible. So good.
But yeah, so that was my number 1. Number 2, as we talked about, Forges of Ravenshire. I liked it because it is a resource management, worker placement type game where there is a lot more asymmetric player interaction where you have to, it's not just about collecting resources. You have to then turn like ore and coal into iron in order to actually make things. So it gives you a lot of, again, that I like the Chonky Boys.
This was definitely that.
And I like ones where you have to, like, I like thinking. I like the games where you have to kind of plan ahead and you can, show your intellectual superiority by playing a game. So, super fun, super cute. Flamecraft. We've talked about it a bunch so far. It is a fantastic game. I don't know what else I can say that you two have not already said about Flamecraft. But again, like, the other thing they need to say is beyond, like, each one of the shops can have 3 dragons, and you can actually move around the dragons because of being able to do different things. But then also you're collecting resources to then enchant the shops, which gives you even more ability. So, just a fantastic game. Mission control, I don't know if it was just playing it in that environment, but even though there was that pressure of time,
I think I am going to wish that when we get it on the table that there was the whole thing, because the whole time I'm sitting in this booth with this huge marker board in front of me and I'm looking around and there's space windows and there's people in suits flying around. Like, being in the booth was part of the experience of this demo.
but like, so
That I'm never going to get back.
well, I mean, I can put it up on the green screen. It's not going to help you. It'll just help the people that are at home. But I think one of the things I just love about Mission Control is, as Derek talked about, like, it is very much everyone is doing their own thing, but there is there's such a sense of camaraderie at the same time, because, like, hey, what do you need? What do you need? You got this, okay, we got this and this, go. And then, like, we're just working together. We're constantly communicating, but it works so well. And there was very little screaming, which is surprising for a BGH thing.
That's true. There was very little moments. I don't think I even said I'm stressed.
No.
In fact, I called myself the Queen of Sudoku after.
A hell of a claim.
Yeah. And then the last one is also a 3WS game. It is the Stuff of Legends, which is based off of a graphic novel by the same name. If you're not familiar with it, think Winnie the Pooh, but dark.
Nightmare Winnie the Pooh.
Yes. Nightmare Winnie the Pooh.
The reason why this made my list is, one, the storytelling replayability part of it, and where it is a cooperative game, but there is a traitor aspect, and the traitor can change even throughout the course of the game. So you never know exactly who you're supposed to really be helping.
Yeah.
There's just so much. Yes, Phil, the con is
Hi,
over.
Phil.
Yeah.
That's mine. There is just, and also the components of this game are like the resin printed minis, like from the Kickstarter. Oh, like
Shoo!
and then there's
one mini, I think it's one of the main minis, has a checker print on the pants, and in the mini you could see the checker print
Kilt.
on the mini, and like,
Chicken butt.
do you know how crazy that is
Jasper.
to get that level of detail onto something that small?
the monkey had a hole in its mouth.
The pig had pants.
I liked the bear.
Megan, say something crazy.
I liked the bear.
And then
Great.
then you also have a coin that you have to flip. That is
Solid.
like, we were talking about, like, you can't play this game on a glass table. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
There's your quote from BGH. The pig had pants.
But I mean, yeah, the Stuff of Legends, great.
Like-
That's another one we got to see at Unplugged that we are very excited to see again this weekend.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Phil's coming in.
Great.
You didn't tell us.
He'll be here for a Friday stream.
Wow. Yay.
But yeah, so that's my top 5. And there's some other games that we looked at and we didn't really talk about.
What was your honorable mention?
Fitprint. But yeah, I mean,